How are y'all today? I wanted to tell you about fainting. Fainting is something, if you haven't never experienced it, it's hard to explain. Here's this dog again. You got to go on now. You got to go. Go on, come on, go. Let me get back on track. Okay, I had 3 fainting episodes that I know of, and tell you how they started off. This was right before I initially went to Mayo, and I got up one morning and I was sick. You know, I guess I was way out there because I didn't put 2 and 2 together and figure out I was fainting. But the first time I stood up off the bed and I went to walk, and as I went to walk forward, my body went backwards. I didn't know what it was. All I know is I woke up on the floor, and I didn't put 2 and 2 together. So I asked some friends of mine, I said, have you ever went to walk forward and your body went backwards? And nobody could relate to it, so I kind of brushed it off. And I kind of brushed it off that I was on the floor. I was between the bed and the wall, and it was on carpet, so I didn't really hit anything or hurt anything. So the second time, I went to get some rice out of the cabinet, and the cabinet was above my head, and when I went to get it, evidently that's when I fainted, because I throwed the rice backwards, so I had rice everywhere. And then again, I didn't put 2 and 2 together, getting up off the floor and all that, and the rice, that I had fainted. So by then I'd already been admitted to Mayo. I think I had already been admitted when I had fainted the first 2 times. And then when the third time that I fainted, I was in the bathroom, and this is how I figured out I was fainting. When I went down so hard that I hit the bathroom door and busted it through to where it would open or close either way. And when I hit that floor, I knew then that, go on, dog. I knew then that I was fainting. But it's hard to believe that I had fainted them other times and it didn't register what was happening. I guess I was just that sick. But anyway, once I was admitted to Mayo that second time with that stroke, I've never fainted again. That's been almost 2 years ago, so I don't know if it was leading up to it or what it was, but the fainting episodes are over. And you want to know what happens when you faint? You hit the floor. You hit hard too. I managed to break 3 ribs, and had a big side of my head had a big bruise on it where I hit one of the cabinets one time I fainted. But you know, it never registered to me that I was fainting. You know, I was doing good to get up and get from point A to point B. But I can tell you one thing about broke ribs: don't stretch until them things are fully healed, because I stretched, and when I stretched, I popped them right back broke again. And I was like, you know what, I'll never stretch again. And you know, I don't think I've ever stretched again because I've been scared I might pop a rib. But that's the deal with the fainting. You're gonna hit that floor hard. So if you ever have any strange things like I was having, you know, you need to, I guess you need to really think about them. But I was so sick till, like I say, I was doing good to get from point A to point B. And so when I wound up on the floor, it didn't make much meaning to me. You know, I didn't understand it. But when I wound back up in Mayo with that throw them blood clots, I don't know if it was something that was fixing to happen, and the fainting was part of it or not. You know, I'm not no doctor. All I am is a patient. But then I had the third time that I got admitted to Mayo, and this was all within about a month. It started on a Friday afternoon. I noticed that my throat was it felt like it was swelling and closing up, and I couldn't figure out what it was. I was having the hardest time trying to swallow, and the harder you tried to swallow, it didn't help. It hurt. So I woke up Saturday morning. I couldn't swallow anything. Couldn't swallow medicine. Couldn't swallow water. Couldn't swallow anything. So I went all day that Saturday, and here she is again. You got to go on now. You got to go on. So I forgot where I was at. Let's see. Oh, Saturday. I couldn't swallow anything. Nothing I could get down. I don't even know how I was getting my saliva down, but come Sunday morning, I woke up and it was just as bad as it was Saturday. So then I thought to myself, you know, you got another problem. Here it is Sunday morning again. So I got ready and went out and got in my car and went back to Mayo, and they put me in the hospital and run some tests on me, and it was my adenoids had swelled up and completely shut my throat off. And I could tell from the instant they was giving me them antibiotics, it seems like I could actually feel it going down. But it's amazing how quick them antibiotics will work on you. But I've never been one to take many antibiotics. You know, I've not had the flu since I was a kid, you know, and I just have never been one to take antibiotics. So I guess that's why they work so quick on me. But yeah, it's interesting when you start that fainting, because it can be deadly. You know, when the doctors, will you please go on? When the doctors realized I was fainting, you know, they got real concerned then, and they were like, you need a walker, and you need this, and you need a cane. And I'm like, I'm not getting a walker, and I'm not getting a cane. I'm not getting any of that stuff. I'm gonna do it the best way I can, and that's, if I hit the floor, I hit the floor. But like I say, never have had any more fainting. But if you have fainting spells, you need to address them, because they can be deadly. If you hit your head on a corner of a cabinet or you know, a countertop or something, it could take you out. But that's about all I have about my fainting spells and my third episode in the hospital. So that puts us up to about the end of October, the 1st of November of 2016 now. And my next video, I'll tell you about my my biopsies and getting diagnosed with the amyloidosis, and then the multiple myeloma, which is bone marrow cancer. But I'll get back with you maybe tomorrow. I gotta do something with this dog. She's wanting more attention.